and welcome to a new episode of The Woolly Thistle. I don't know what episode number this is, but it's good to be with you. You will notice immediately that my co-host is not here. Unfortunately, she is sick right now and is not able to record with me. Now that I've got used to having Maggie on the show, I really miss her, and I know that you will too. So I hope that just me here on my own will keep you entertained for a little while, and we'll get her back on the show as soon as possible. I am supported though with Kelsey P. She will be on the show later, and we'll be talking about something very interesting, I am sure. I promise. So let's just get started right into the podcast, and I'll start with a giveaway. We do have a winner, and last time we did 3 winners throughout the episode, and I'm going to do that again because it's fun. So the first winner, and this is for a $25 gift certificate to the Woolly Thistle, and all you have to do to be in the running is leave a comment and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Our first winner is Catherine Buttrick, and she said, "Loved the clip from Rhinebeck," and that was courtesy of Caitlin. Thank you, Caitlin. "I used to go there when the festival first began and was so small. Was so happy to see the perfect sweater weather." So yeah, we were all dying here. None of us, except for Caitlin, went to Rhinebeck this year. It's my first year not going, except for last year, which nobody went. Very, very sad to not be there, but very grateful to Caitlin, who, like a trooper, went and enjoyed herself. She had a good time with her mum, which is really nice. Okay, so I will announce a couple more winners before the end of this episode. So thanks for hanging in there and staying with me. Let's talk about what I'm wearing. You may have seen this before or not. I'm not sure. This is the Rosamund sweater, and it's an all-over rib. And then these lovely cables come down in a V, set in sleeves with the cable running down here. Beautifully, beautifully constructed, if I do say so myself. I feel like I sewed my arm seams in just perfectly. And I can say that because I am so honest about all my mistakes, right? So I have the right to show you when I'm really happy with something too. This is knitted in Rowan felted tweed, which we stock here at the shop, and we did just have a little deal on those, so I think most of it is gone now, but we should get that back in stock again. Rowan felted tweed is a lovely DK weight yarn. It's very, very tweedy. This color is the Avocado colorway, and it's got blue in it and flecks of white as well. Is that lovely green? So I really enjoy this sweater. When I first finished it, before it was blocked, I tried it on and I hated it. I was, I'm not going to wear this. It just doesn't fit me at all. It's terrible. And then the magic of blocking changed it. And now I really enjoy wearing it. It's got a nice little bit of flow to it. It feels very comfy, and it's certainly warm. There's a tiny bit of alpaca in it, but it's mostly wool, and there's viscose in it too, actually. But a lovely yarn to knit with. Anyway, that's what I'm wearing today. This is a historical knit designed by Marie Wallin, of course, and it was in her book Bloomsbury, which is a beautiful book, one of my favorites actually. There's quite a bit that I wanted to knit out of here. And I think she has taken a couple of these designs and put them in her latest book, Cherish. Let me find that for you. There's a couple. This is one of them. This is the original one that was done in Rowan felted tweed, and I'll put a picture here of the new one out of Cherish. And there's what I'm wearing. Me and George are practically interchangeable, don't you think? So no, I don't think that. Okay, so this is a very nice book. We do stock it. All the knits are in Rowan felted tweed, if that's of interest to you. So let me share with you my latest whip, which we all know. It is the Victory Cardigan. This one is all but finished. I kind of ran out of steam with this one because it's too big for me, because I got the gauge wrong. So annoying. So I knit this whole thing at sort of 3.5 stitches per inch, and the gauge needs to be 4 stitches per inch. So ½ an inch off every inch. Good 40 inches around, say. That's 20 stitches too many, making this thing gigantic. So I have run out of steam with this. I will finish it, and it will be a sloppy cardigan for me to wear around the house. However, practice does make perfect. And this is the body of my latest, and you can see from the lighting there where the shaping is. There's waist shaping on the bottom third. There is also bust shaping here, which I don't know if you're going to be able to see. It looks like a side seam sort of. Oh, just do it like that. So I have increases there, and in the back this fits really well so far. There's the shaping. Oh, I haven't blocked it yet though, and so we can't trust anything until it's blocked, but I'm feeling good about this. So all I have to do now is put on my sleeves and finish the neckline and the button bands, stick it, and it will be done. But I am super happy with how this is shaping up to fit my body in the way I wanted it to. This is the envision I had. I will just talk briefly. There is going to be a lot of information that comes out with this pattern, or the opportunity for lots of information. But one of the things I do want to mention right now is that I have based this whole entire sweater on the upper bust measurement, which is sort of from your underarm across the top, not your fullest bust. So many patterns base their sizes on your full bust, and that's what we're used to. But this isn't. This is on the upper bust, which is a totally different measurement and is much smaller, presumably, than your full bust. And I don't want people to feel nervous about that they're choosing this tiny number on which to base everything else. That is what we want to do. That is what we want to do. And the reason we want to do that is that if we measure this piece here, we will size the sweater correctly for your shoulders and your arm. And it is much easier to increase and shape for your full bust than it is to reshape, to knit to your fullest bust and then try to reduce the stuff up here. The way I'm doing it is the way that I think is the easiest and makes the most sense to get a fitted cardigan in the shoulders, as well as your upper bust chest area, and then we increase to fit the bust. And you might not need increases, or you might not need as many increases, or you might need more increases. And that's the challenge of this piece, is that if you want it to fit you just right, you might be putting it on waste yarn, knitting some more, trying it on, blocking it, trying it on, and ripping back, and then fixing it. So in the pattern, I do tell you, this is how you do it. It's 1, 2, 3. If you're a fairly average size, you will probably fit the pattern as it's written. But if you're not and you want it to be super, just right, hopefully you don't need to knit it 3 times like I have, because I've made silly mistakes. But you will want to try it on, block it, things like that. And I think it's going to be such a great learning tool for shaping as well. You will get to know what the difference between here and your full bust means for you, and you will get to have the right number of increases without having all this bagginess that you can get with a raglan sweater, because you're trying to get it big enough to go around your full bust. The vanilla sweater's like that, but the style of the vanilla sweater is drapey and flowy, and so you don't mind having a little bit of extra ease around here, which is why it's fitted for the full bust. But where this is a fitted cardigan and we want it to look good across everywhere, we're using the upper bust. So I just wanted to share that, because I know that that'll probably have people asking questions, which is fine, but I wanted to sort of head that off as well, that no, I intended us to use the measurement that's sort of under the arm. So you can see here, like where my fingers are is the under bust measurement, and then the full bust is out here, and that's because I'm holding it flat. But you can see that I added on quite a few stitches there and there to bring this out. And the other wonderful thing about this is that you're only doing it on the front, which means your back is still the same number of stitches as your upper bust measurement, because your shoulder blades aren't getting bigger as well. Your shoulder blades, and your back are much more uniform than your front. And it's one of my pet peeves that when I have a sweater that I've knitted and the sleeves are basically stuck in the middle of the stitch row or the stitch count, you end up with as much fabric in the front for your boobs as you do in the back, where there are no boobs. And I don't like that. I want my back to fit me. So you can see that on my model here, hopefully, that, you know, there is shaping in the back, and that causes things to hug the body nicely. Naturally, of course, you don't need to do waist shaping if you don't want to. If you're more up and down, don't do the waist shaping. You know, that is you modifying it. So, but I have it here. But, you know, the waist measurement, I mean, the upper bust measurement was taken around here. And so it fits your upper back, and it's also going to fit here as well because you're not adding stitches there. So you do end up with stitches on the back that are less in number than the stitches on the front, but that is our body, so that's a good thing, and it will end up in a lovely fitting sweater. So as has been for the last wee while, I am still knitting on a Victory cardigan. However, we do have a release date now, and it's November 12th. I misspoke last time and said it was November 15th. Take that out. It's November 12th, which is a Friday. And we will have the kits available. We have all different colors coming in of this beautiful VAMS yarn, which is a Rama worsted Aran weight yarn. It is soft and silky and really nice. I am finding this particular color feels a little bit more rough on my hands, and I don't mean rough in any way, just relative to this color is very silky and soft. This one's feeling a little bit more rustic on the hands. It could be that it's more saturated dye or something. And also I have not blocked this yet. I was wondering if I had, but I haven't. And I think as soon as this sits in the water for half an hour, it's going to dry to be as soft as this one and the black one that I have as well, which was a whole other catalogue of follies. And if you're following along, you know what they are. I do it all for you though. I do. You know, let me do the mistakes, and then you just knit perfectly. But if you do make mistakes, I hope that you realize that that's completely fine. And actually, if you try and see the opportunity in it, you will learn how to fix your mistakes. You will understand why you made the mistake and what that does to your knitting. And it just makes you a so much better knitter. And that's what I tell myself all the time. Oh, and just one last thing. This is color 400. And it's a reddish brick color that I'm very much looking forward to having on my body. I did try this on and it fits like a glove. Haven't blocked it yet, but so far all signals are very, very good, and I'm very happy about that. I really am. I'm super happy. And I think this is one that you can dress up. I sort of imagine it being, you know, with the I-cord, you could wear it with a nice silk scarf and nice pants and go off to the office with your fancy bag. Or, you know, you can dress it down, wear it with jeans, you know, or wear it nice and cozy with a skirt, what have you. I am going to put the button bands on this one because I have something very, very beautiful to show you about the button band, but I'm not ready to do that just yet. But that's coming and it's very exciting. Oh, I also misspoke one other thing, and I'm sorry about this. I said that the ribbon here that I used to cover the steek would be part of the kit, and I misspoke. That is not the case. So we are working to get more of this for you so that you can purchase it when you're ready to steek your cardigan, if you want to put that lovely Norwegian woven ribbon right on there. Good things are coming, let me just say that. So what else do I want to share with you? Well, I want to share with you all the goodness that we have here at the Woolly Thistle, of course. But on a serious note, I wanted just to mention that we have a wonderful customer who has been a fan of the Woolly Thistle for a very long time, who unfortunately has been diagnosed with ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease. It is absolutely a devastating diagnosis to get. And she got in touch asking to be taken off our newsletter list because it's too painful to receive anything to do with knitting. And I know that she's in the process of giving away her wonderful stash of yarns and books. And I doubt she's watching this because I think it is too painful. But I just wanted to say that we really love you guys. And, you know, if something's happening with you, you can always send us an email if you just need someone to talk to and just get it out there. That's totally fine with us. I'm not saying please everyone start telling us all your problems. That's not what I'm saying. But we are moved when we hear of a long-time customer who is having some real difficulties and challenges that they're facing. Anyway, all this to say is we did make a donation this month, or actually in October, to the ALS Foundation, and we are doing that in honor of our wonderful customer. And the reason I'm telling you this is just to share that we really do love you guys, and that we wouldn't be here without you. And, you know, if there's anything we can do, we will try to do that. So just thank you for that little moment there. I've been thinking about her a lot and how difficult things must be. And we all have such difficult times in our lives. Knitting is such a solace to so many of us that to lose that must be devastating for sure. So I just want to say, you know, if you are watching this by some chance, we love you, we miss you, and we are thinking of you. And otherwise, you know, when you can, make a donation to a charity that will honor someone that comes across your path, or a friend or what have you, that, you know, try and do that. It's a small thing, but it can make a huge difference in the research and things like that. So all that to say, it's November and Christmas and Thanksgiving is right around the corner. And of course, all we keep hearing about is how supply chain issues are driving a lot of people to be shopping early. And I would recommend that you do that too. So yes, we're having lots of supply chain issues as a country. There's all kinds of backs up. We all can hear about it in the news all the time. For us, we are actually bringing most of our stock in from the East, so from the UK and Europe, which does not seem to be as impacted by the backups that are happening over on the West Coast and stuff coming in from the west side of the country. So we've dodged that bullet fairly well, although, you know, USPS and UPS and DHL are all under extreme pressure just because of the business they're in. So we have decided at this time our cutoff for Christmas shopping, and I know it's so early, but I'm going to keep talking about this cutoff date so that if you need to know it, you will catch it here, there, or somewhere else that I mention it. So for now, the cutoff is December 12th, and that will give us enough time to pack your order, get it in the mail in time for the postal service to guarantee it getting there in time for Christmas. So it just means things are a little bit earlier than they might be normally, but that's okay. So that's one thing, that's sort of housekeeping. Another thing that I want to quickly mention is that we talked about spontaneously doing a little sock cal, and we are going to do that, and it's all comers, so any yarn, any pattern, any stage of sock knitting that you're in. And I did that selfishly because I have 2 half knitted socks, and we're going to just run it for a week, and it's going to start November 14th. We will do it in our Facebook group, and we'll have a chat thread in the Ravelry group. Go to either one. There's no prizes. There's just, come on, get your sock knitting done. And for most of you, it might be Christmas socks. So November 14th for a week, we will do that. And it's just a sort of, let's knit socks together. And I hopefully will finish at least one pair because without this sort of focus, I will not get that done because I'm so much knitting on this other thing, although that should be done by then and released. Yeah, I'll be looking for something to knit, but I probably wouldn't reach for socks. So anyway, all that to say that we're doing a very informal, just kind of throwing together a little sock cal. It's for 1 week, and knit your Christmas socks, knit any socks you want, knit any yarn you want, it's fine. Let's just get together and knit some socks. So we'll do that. And while I'm talking about the cal, I'm mentioning the Facebook and Ravelry. Please remember that you can find us on Facebook as The Woolly Thistle. Remember, there's 2 L's in woolly, and on Ravelry by the same name. And you're welcome and free to join either or both of those groups. We love seeing people in there, and both our groups are very, very, very welcoming, lovely places to be. We've actually had a lot of new members joining the Facebook group, so welcome. I hope you're catching this and watching the Shopcast. This is what we're all about, and if I didn't say so already, because I assume I'm talking with friends here, And if you're not, you soon will be. My name is Corinne and I own and operate the Woolly Thistle with a lot of help from a really top-notch team, including Maggie, who's usually here. She's my marketing manager. And Josh is our inventory and fulfillment manager. And he oversees the engine that is receiving orders and getting them out to you. So we have a really good team here, and one of those team members is actually remote. She lives in northern Vermont. Her name is Kelsey P, and we will be going over to watch her segment in just a moment. But first I thought we would show you some things in the shop. And before that, look at me, I'm so organized in a backwards way. We're going to announce another winner. This winner is Leslie Farris, who I actually am very familiar with. Hi, Leslie. Congratulations. You win a $25 gift certificate to the Woolly Thistle. And this is for your comment that you left. And you said, love these get-togethers with you too, me and Maggie. Laughter and lusciousness abound. I really love the video of driving down your road with all the autumn colors and all the animals. It is brilliant that you share your mistakes as well as your positive attitude. As creative people, we tend to be too hard on ourselves. There's enough to be really hard on ourselves about that. I don't think knitting should be part of it. She likes to say, only God is perfect and he can have that job. We should enjoy our making. Wicked socks, Maggie. Yes, aren't Maggie's socks amazing? Maybe we can put a picture here from last time. I love these socks. She is the shop elf personified. She's adorable. So thank you, Leslie, for leaving that nice comment. And yes, I think that I found my magic ingredient for this podcast, and it's to share my mistakes. People really do like that. And I think it's kind of boring if everything you do is perfect right out of the gate. You know, I'm a mum, many of you are parents, and you know, we have to teach our kids to try and try and try again. I am a plodder. I take to that very naturally, that if I can't get it, I will keep trying. And we have to teach our kids that too, and we have to be humble about it as well as rejoice when we finally get there, because it really is a hard-earned, not perfect thing, but a hard-earned good result. So anyway, Leslie, thank you so much for watching this Shopcast and for leaving us a comment. And if you and Catherine both send us an email, sorry Catherine if I didn't say this, send us an email to info@thewoollythistle.com, put winner in capitals in the subject line, give us your name and let us know that you won on which episode. I believe this is 156, and we will get a gift certificate out to you right away. I am going to draw one more prize, so stay tuned, it could be you, especially if you watched the show last time and left a comment. Okay, so we are going to go over to Kelsey soon, but before we do, I wanted to just talk quickly about some of the items in the shop that we have right now and some of the things that are coming. In fact, I want to snap to what's coming because I'm really excited about this, because we haven't done this all year. And in the background, we have been planning for this, and we are going to have, can we have a drum roll? We are going to have grab bags of the Jamieson and Smith variety coming back to us. Here we go. Here is a random grab bag that we put together to show you. If you don't know about our Jamieson and Smith grab bags, you're in for a treat. These are literally grab bags that are picked and put together at random. You get 13 as our baker's dozen. So there's 13 in here. Let me double check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And you're getting it for 15% off the regular price. These are absolutely wonderful for things like, here's another one here, for things that, that you want to make with lots of different colors, meaning all kinds of color work. These are great for building your stash. And what we can do is guarantee that you won't get any two colors the same if you buy 2 bags. And we'll try really hard to make that for 3 bags too, if you want to buy 3 bags. But we can definitely guarantee that that in 2 bags there won't be any overlap in color. The other thing we love about grab bags is that there's going to be, oh, this is so pretty. There's going to be colors in here that you wouldn't normally buy, although this one here, gosh. Now you don't get to choose your grab bag. Grab bags are grab bags, and these are just some randomly selected ones to show you. But you might end up picking colors that you wouldn't normally choose, right? This is a good one. They're all good. But to my mind, I can see water and sand and Shetland colors here. So yeah, these take a lot of work because we do have to put them together randomly. And we have noticed in the past when we've sold them that people will buy more than one, though more than one is perfectly good too. But this is such a good deal, and we're not able to do it very often because of the limits in colors. This is just a number on here. So yeah, so I hope you're getting the idea of these beautiful, oh God, all of them, you can't go wrong. So these grab bags are going on sale as part of our Black Friday, which is just coming up a couple of weeks or so away. It's upon us already. We will be participating in Black Friday. We have a Black Friday event, and I'm showing you these because these will be going on sale for our Black Friday event, and it's 15% off. And we have tried to get in as many as we can. So while you want to be definitely on the ball and get to the shop, you should not hopefully be disappointed. We hope to have enough for everybody that we think would like one. In years past, they've sold out in minutes, and we're hoping that that's not the case this time, that we are able to actually have enough for everybody who wants one and who is also, you know, on the ball enough to get to the shop in good time. And that's all I can say because I don't know. Yeah, so these are 25-gram balls of Shetland wool from Jamieson and Smith. It is the regular Jamieson and Smith yarn. This is normally $5.75 a ball. You get all these, which is a baker's dozen, for 15% off, which is a super duper deal. We don't usually put any Jamieson and Smith on sale. I'm still looking for yet more colors to show you, or more selections. And what's so nice is that you can buy a cone, or you can buy all the colors for your main color, and then work with a grab bag. And in fact, this lovely wee cushion has been sat up on my bookshelf for a while, and this is something I did a while back using a bunch of different colors from Jamieson and Smith. My crochet granny squares are cute. And then I did the mitered square. So, you know, you can do projects like this for sure with a grab bag. It's also really good when you don't get to choose the colors, because you have to get creative and decide which work well with each other. You know, you can look at contrast, you can look at families of colors. Oh, and we'll have lots of color wheels in just for that purpose as well. If you missed seeing Kelsey P's color work basics, I would go and look for that in our YouTube channel because it's well worth a watch, and lots of people found that really, really helpful. And we also have the color wheels so that you can do some of this yourself and basically put yourself in a little course of color work with a grab bag and a color wheel, and you're good to go. It's so fun. Knitting is so fun. I will never, never, never get bored with knitting because you can go in so many different directions, and color work and theory, color theory and all of that comes into play, and it's really, really fascinating. Although many of us like a kit for this very reason. We don't want to think about it. We want to knit something that we know somebody else, a designer, has thought about and made beautiful, and that's what we want to go with. And I want to share a couple of kits with you that are just recently back in the shop. So anyway, I just wanted to point out that we are going to have Jamieson and Smith Baker's Dozen grab bags. Whenever we do them, they're a huge hit. And so we have been working really hard behind the scenes trying to put these together so that we can offer them to you during our Black Friday event. Stay tuned, keep watching episodes. We are going to have an extra episode next week, which usually it'll be 2 weeks before we see you again. But next week, we're going to show you the selection boxes. And that's all I'm saying about that until I say some more. I'm I'm not. I'm going to hold it till next week. But yes, we will have selection boxes with beautiful, beautiful yarns in them. And we can't wait to show you those, but you'll have to tune in next week for that. So anyway, let's get back to looking at some kits. Now, we've been selling we have been pre-selling the book Stripes by Vera Välimäki and Lina, who published this book. We finally have it, and it is stunning. I love the candy cane, but the book itself is really, really beautiful. It's a nice big thick book in true Lina tradition. It's got the cloth covering, and it smells really good too. And I wanted to show you a couple of patterns in here. The first is Varpu, and of course Vera Välimäki, that's Vera Välimäki in this picture, and she is wearing the Varpu shawl, which is a brioche shawl with lots of garter stitch thrown in there. And we have a lovely working relationship with Lichen and Lace that this pattern was written for, and we were able to put together kits for the Varpu shawl. So if you're interested in knitting the Varpu out of stripes, you can indeed knit it with the original colors all dyed up just for these kits, and it's beautiful. This is going to be a nice big shawl. Lichen and Lace is a hand dyer up in Canada, and her Rustic Sport is the only yarn from her that we stock right now, and we love it because it's a rustic sport weight, and it's a 100% Canadian wool, and it's a single ply, and it is rustic, and then on blocking it gets softer and softer and drapier and drapier. Maggie is particularly fond of this yarn. Aren't you, Maggie? Are you watching? I hope you're watching. So this is in the book Stripes. The kit for the Varpu shawl comes with all the yarn you need, a lovely woolly thistle gusseted tote bag here, and it does not come with the book. The book you have to purchase separately. And there is some other really great patterns in here though, or designs from Vera Välimäki. First of all, look at these stripy full-length socks. We know after seeing Maggie's elfin socks that we like this, and this is actually knitted with Retrosaria Mondim, or Mondim. I'm not sure the correct pronunciation. And I love how they have interchanged the main colors. So while we are not able to get that brick red color that's in these, it is absolutely no problem to trade out that brick red for another color that we do have. The cover photo in the book is this, and this is called Hella, and it's a lovely drapey summer sweater knitted in Blacker Lioness, which we stock here, of course. So I wanted to show that there were some other alternatives that you could knit with here in the shop from that wonderful book. Also in kit news, I wanted to let you know that we're working really hard on getting the yarn for more Cherish kits. It's in the works. Basically, Marie is having more yarn spun up right now and going through the process of making the yarn. So as soon as that is ready, we will have the yarn over here. We're expanding our kit offering. We started with 4, and I believe we're going to go up to maybe 7 or 8 kits that you can just buy in kit form. And we do have the book in stock right now, and many of the kits come with the option of buying the book now and buying the yarn set later, or you can buy the yarn set with the book as a whole kit. So you're not penalized. If you order the book now, you can get that and then buy the kit later without the cost of the book included in there, which is, you know, that's handy. We do have some more kits that I wanted to show you. We have the Bladjakke, which is the cover picture on the Rama family knit book, which is a really nice book. And for that, you can get all this and all the blue that goes with it. That's everything. And you can buy it with or without this in the kit. And you also get a large woolly thistle gusseted tote, which is really nice. So yeah, you can get all of this in a kit for the Bladjakke. My personal favorite is the Annajakke, this one here, which can come with yellow as the main color. And this here is the yellow that is in that. Or you can do a sort of a green version, which I only have a small picture of, I believe. This one here. It's beautiful. And there you can see a gallery of some of the other patterns that are in this lovely book. So this one here, I have a sample to show you. So again, you get all the yarn you need for the size you want to knit, and this is the base. And then for the green one, it comes with the green yarn and this third color as well. And if you want the yellow one, it would be all yellow and the same contrasting fawn color. And again, you can get it with or without the book, and you get a big woolly thistle tote bag. So these strict yarn kits were very, very popular when we first brought them out a couple of months ago, and we just got the yarn back in, so I wanted to let you know about that. I myself, I think I want to knit one of the yellow ones for sure, because I will be looking to knit something when I finish my Victory cardigan. We do still have some pre-orders going, and they're getting closer and closer to being, in fact, here and ready, and that would be Shetland Wool Week 2020. Those should be on their way to us very soon, if not already by the time you're watching this. And Shetland Wool Adventures Journal is supposedly going to be ready round about the first week of November. So right around now, we should be getting word that those are on their way. We have been taking pre-orders for both of those for quite a while, and we are very much looking forward to getting our hands on them and having a good thumb through ourselves. And then Worsted by Le Bien-Aimé, published by Lina. We just got word this morning as I record this that there is going to be a delay with that book because of COVID in Latvia, where it's printed. They are working very closely with the printer, and they will let us know as soon as things ease up there. I don't think it's going to be a huge delay. It's just taking longer with a reduced staff at the print mill. So anyway, we are offering that as a pre-order. And of course we have Pom-Pom Quarterly's winter issue, and that is also coming soon, and we're taking pre-orders for that. We did get a top-up of our Jagger heathered yarns, which we just love, and it's from Maine, so it's nice and close. And we did get frangipani cones in, and those have been selling really well. We'll need to top those up again, but if you're in the market for a Guernsey or Gansey type sweater, we do have a lot of lovely frangipani on cones and lots of different colors, so check those out. I just told you about the strict yarn sweaters. Another kit, now, my goodness, we put this in the shop and it's sold out in a day, and we had quite a few. So we are working with Lichen and Lace again to restock this. And this, of course, is the Lunenburg sweater by Savory Knitting. And with this, you do get a large woolly thistle tote bag. And the base, and this is all again in Lichen and Lace. So the base color is this lovely charcoal gray, very dark. And pollen is one of the contrast colors. And shrub is the green. And we've got this lovely birch, which is a lovely pale gray. And sky, which is this gorgeous, variegated, of course, light blue, turquoisey blue, just beautiful. And all together, they make the beautiful Lunenburg sweater. So we are very happy that you guys like this, and so we have ordered more, and they'll be coming soon, and we'll put them in the shop as soon as they're here. And those are the kits. So those are some of our kits. We have a lot of kits, and it's sometimes hard for us to keep them in stock because if one color becomes out of stock or unavailable because of COVID or something, it becomes difficult to restock that, but we do our best. We definitely do our best. So definitely peruse our kit offerings if that is something that you would like to do. You're kind of guaranteed good color work. If you're more adventurous, make your own kit for sure. This, of course, is Gudrun Johnson's Hansel hat that our model is wearing right now. And this I knitted in Jamieson and Smith 2-ply jumper weight off a cone. Oh, we will be getting more cones too. We got our biggest order ever of Jamieson and Smith 2-ply cones, and they sold out almost immediately. So we're trying to get as many of them in as we can get, because we obviously realize that you guys are waiting for those. Many of you also got the deal whereby you spent $85 on Jamieson and Smith, which is just, you know, less than 2 cones, and you got the Star Cardi pattern. That's a great way to knit the Star Cardi, because of course it's just 2 colors and it's all over color work. So the gray is 27, and you can see I knitted this and the Hansel hat from 1 cone, and I still have yarn left over on that cone. And then the black is 81, but I believe that we are not able to get more 81. So if you got it, congratulations. But there is 77, which is a solid black. That's also used in Ella Gordon's Radiant Star Cowl, if I remember right. It's a solid black, and it would do really well in this as well. I love my Star Cardi. Yes, I think I'm ready to knit some more all over color work with my next project. Thank you too for those of you who have been buying the yarn you need to get the free pattern for the 2-color cowl, the tapestry cowl here. Maggie was wearing this last episode for a part of it. This is a really lovely, warm, snuggly winter cowl that will keep out the cold and not fall off your shoulders like a shawl tends to, you know. You can just put your coat on right around this and it's not a big deal. So thank you if you've been purchasing those. We still have lots of yarn because this is knitted in Rama Fennel yarn. All you need to do is buy 7 balls and you get the pattern for free. Oh my gosh. This and this will be worn together. Look at that. I think that's quite nice. Yes, 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 yes. Don't you love building your own wardrobe of knitwear? I'm going to be doing, or I am doing by the time you see this, I'm going to try and be doing the Wovember Instagram challenge for every day in November. You talk a little bit about wool, there's different prompts. And I think somebody said somewhere about, you know, use Wovember to wear your woolies and, you know, see how many woolies you can wear in a month. I literally do that by the day, starting pretty much in September. I always have woolly socks on, I have a sweater on, I usually have a cowl or a hat, gloves, mittens. It's a really fun thing to do, is you count all the things before you step out the door. Tell me I'm not alone with this, because that is my brand of crazy. I love it. I also want to mention a brand new pattern that came out at the end of October from Bee Mandarins, who is Melody Hoffman, and she has a wonderful YouTube channel where she helps you slow your heart rate down by watching her knitting and living in France. And she just released a new pattern called the Wild Posy. It's knitted in Plötulopi, held double, so it's totally our jam here. And we do have the darker color that she knitted her sample in. We're not able to get the lighter color because it's not available to us right now, but you could knit the lighter one in, I think, 1026, which is ash gray, a nice light gray. Either way, you can knit it in any color, and we just want to support Melody's beautiful pattern, so be sure to check that out as well. I'll quickly tell you what we're expecting to come down the pike real soon. We did catch a hint that Lina 13 will be issued soon, so we'll be doing pre-orders for that as soon as possible. The Victory Cardigan is going live on November 12th, and we will have more Jamieson and Smith cones very soon, so be watching and sign up for the back in stock notification. That's a really great thing in the shop, that if you want something that is out of stock, you can click the notify me link on that product page and you just put your email in, and we will email you automatically as soon as that goes back in the shop, so that you know it's coming. But I also try to keep you informed as well through our newsletter, and thank you so much for being on our newsletter if you are a subscriber. I think it's now time to go to our roving reporter, Kelsey P. Not that she's roving so much out and about, but she is roving through her stash of yarns and wools, and she will be talking about the Fleece and Fibre Sourcebook, which can help us knitters figure out a yarn that's new to us, especially where we focus on woolly wools here. The Fleece and Fibre Sourcebook is a really, really good resource that we of course sell here at the Woolly Thistle. So let's go over to Kelsey now and hear all that she has to share. And when we come back, I will announce the third winner for the podcast. So enjoy.
Hi, it's Kelsey again. I'm just coming in to talk to you about a few things that I have had on my mind on the past few weeks and I wanted to share. First is the sweater cal is over, so I'm late and I should have finished this, but I didn't. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But I wanted to show you my steeked cardigan. So if you remember from the last time I talked to you, this cardigan called for just 2 steek stitches, which scared me. So I did 4 steek stitches instead of the normal, like I've seen 5, 7, 9, but this cardigan called for a lot less. So I did a lot less. And it seems to have worked. So what I did is I ran some stitches, so a short straight stitch up through either side of those 4 stitches. And I actually did it twice because I was afraid. And it's in purple, the thread is purple, because that just happened to be what it was in the sewing machine I was using. But it doesn't matter, because what's going to happen to that is when I actually come back and pick up the stitches that I'm going to pick up, which are this column here of stitches, this whole section is going to fold back and be inside the cardigan. So I didn't actually care what color it was going to be. But I just wanted to come back and share quickly that it looks like it's holding. There are a few scraggly bits because where the color work was a little bit, just didn't quite bridge the steek the way I wanted to. With only 4 stitches, you couldn't do like an alternating pattern very well, things like that. But I think it should stay. I've sort of given it a tug in a few places. And especially with Plötulopi, it's really not going to go anywhere. Knitting doesn't actually want to unravel sideways. If it's going to unravel, it's going to unravel vertically. Like if you dropped a stitch somewhere in here, it'll unravel all the way to the bottom. But the thing about steeking, and the reason why steeking tends to work pretty well, is it doesn't really want to pull out sideways. And if it does, it only pulls out maybe by a stitch. You would have to be pulling on somehow an individual strand of yarn from all the way over here to be pulling it out through the sweater, if that makes sense. So it looks like it's going to stay. It looks like it turned out pretty well. It's very small, so I'm going to plan to probably needle felt it back into itself once I pick up those stitches, and we'll see how it goes. But I promised I'd show it, so here it is, shown. The other thing I wanted to talk about today is this book. This is called the Fleece and Fibre Sourcebook. There's also a smaller version called the Field Guide to Fleece. It's like, you know, this big. I think I actually have it, but that's the better size if you're taking it like to a fiber festival, to a yarn festival, to a yarn store. This is the guy you want at home on your bookshelf. And the reason I want to talk about it is not because I'm a fiber nerd and just like reading about different sheep breeds. It's because it can give you a lot of clues about what a yarn is going to be like. Here at the Woolly Thistle, we have special yarns coming in all the time, and maybe they're only here for a week or maybe for a month, because we only get limited quantities. So I get a lot of questions in the email, and I'm very happy to answer them. But I get a lot of questions about, well, how does that feel? What is that yarn breed like? Or the sheep breed, not yarn breed, sheep breed like? Is it drapey? Is it squishy? Is it fluffy? What color is it? Is it brown? Is it black? And all of those kinds of questions. And a lot of the answers you can actually find in this book. So for example, we recently had Armscote Manor, and we had a few different types, and they were all different breeds. There was a Portland, there was a full Portland sheep yarn, and then we had a full Black Welsh Mountain, and then some blends in between. So I did get some emails saying, well, what is Black Welsh Mountain? What does that feel like? It's not a common breed. It's not merino. It's not cormo. It's not something that we see all the time. What does that feel like? So you can actually go into this book And I've marked the page so I know where I am. And there's a whole couple of pages on Black Welsh Mountain. That's what they look like. It tells you a lot of things about how much fleece comes off a sheep, how long the staple is, and that'll often tell you, is it sort of a drapier yarn? Is it a squishier yarn? Merino, Cormo, Corriedale, things like that tend to have a lot shorter staple lengths. Things like the dual coat of an Icelandic sheep can have up to a foot of staple length, and that makes it a lot more durable. And it explains the natural colors that it comes in, the micron count. A micron count will generally give you an idea of how soft a yarn is. You might have heard of 17 micron cashmere or merino. That's a very, very thin fiber. And when you have a thin fiber, it's a lot softer. When you get all the way up to yarns that are used for rugs, there can be in the 40, 50 micron range. So this will tell you sort of where a sheep breed on average lands. And certain farms will have different micron counts in certain years and certain sheep, but it'll give you a good idea. It also shows some examples of a knit square, the yarn itself, the clean and raw unspun fiber. And this section is what I find particularly useful for knitting, crocheting, and weaving. It tells you exactly how it feels, what its good uses are. Is it good for mittens? Is it good for next to skin? Is it good for weaving rugs? So for example, it says here the wool is relatively soft and extremely durable at the same time. Cool, that's a great thing to know. And you also can get a sense of kind of the color that the natural wool is going to be. So I just wanted to show you a few other options, well not options, a few other yarns that we've had that you can find answers about in this book. So the next would be the Blacker Gotland DK. So it's 100% Gotland wool. Gotland is a specific breed of sheep. And again, you get a picture of the Gotland sheep. You get a picture of the yarn. This is actually the same yarn. This is Gotland yarn from Blacker. This is Gotland yarn from Blacker, but this one is undyed. It tells you about the natural colors, so you know, okay, it's naturally gray. So when I get a dyed green, it's going to have this sort of heathered green. It's not going to be a sort of green on white, bright green. And the other thing that's cool about this book is that it shows you what other sheep breeds are in the same family. So if you go back a page from Gotland, there's Finn sheep. Finn sheep. So Gotland tend to be from Sweden, or historically from Sweden. Finn sheep are from Finland. So they're both Scandinavian sheep. They're in the same sheep breed family, and they have some similarities. Clearly they have some differences. The Finn sheep is clearly white instead of gray. And it will explain everything about how to knit with it and everything else that I just said. But if you've knit with, say, Tuku wool, you can think, the Tuku wool is Finn sheep, the Gotland is Gotland, and if they're in the same family, they might be sort of similar. That said, they are spun differently, so they do feel a bit different, but you can get a good idea of what you're sort of dealing with. It's the same thing with even broader categories. So you have two very broad categories. One is called long wools and one is called fine wools. And long wools, as I said, have the staple length that's much longer. So something like a Teeswater sheep, a Lincoln long wool, they have very long staple lengths. That tends to make them more drapey. It tends to mean they have less crimp in their wool, so it's a little less bouncy. So if you find that a sheep breed that we offer in a yarn is a long wool, it gives you a pretty good idea of what that yarn is going to be like. On the opposite side, if you see that it's a fine wools are things, the most famous are things like merino, rambouillet, which is actually a type of merino, cormo, corriedale. Those will have a lot more squish to them because they are shorter staple and often will have a lot more of those little wavy crimps. So something like John Arbon's Yarnadelic, which I don't have with me, is a bit squishier than, say, the Gotland. So another one I wanted to show is the Blacker Yarns Jacob DK. And this is one of the natural undyed colors. It's sort of a mixed gray, grayish brown kind of color. And again, you can come in here and you can see, all right, Jacob sheep, there he is, or she. It's got 2 sets of horns, that's awesome. Oh, it's a conservation breed. That's good to know. You can know that you're supporting a heritage breed, a conservation breed. You can get a pretty good sense of different colors that it comes in. They even here separate into British Jacob sheep and American Jacob sheep. Sometimes they even have little extra boxes, info boxes about special issues with that, or special issues or information about that breed of sheep. And again, the same information about what it looks like, what color it is. It's, you know, it shows that the colors vary, so getting something like this makes a lot of sense. So yeah, you can get some fun pictures of these interesting sheep and see what their protected status is, all sorts of information like that. And the last kind of sheep that I wanted to talk about is actually in the John Arvin Exmoor sock. So this is Exmoor sock. And Exmoor sock is a blend of sheep breeds. It's 64% Exmoor Blueface, 20% Corriedale, 10% Zwartbles, and 10% nylon. One thing I'd like to mention is Blueface is usually sort of a subset of a breed, or it's just telling you that it's a slightly different breed to a related breed. So many people have knit with blue-faced Leicester wool. They are very closely related to border Leicester or other Leicester wools. So if you knit with blue-faced Leicester and you see something that comes up that says border Leicester, you might be able to infer that it's pretty similar. Same here, Exmoor Blueface yarn or wool is very similar to an Exmoor horn. So while this book actually doesn't have Exmoor Blueface described specifically, it does have Exmoor horn. So you can sort of infer that those may be similar. What I wanted to show is the Zwartbles. Zwartbles yarn, or Zwartbles wool, is often blended into wool blends like this in a small amount because it is black. It is black, 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 black. So when you have all these other breeds of sheep that tend to be white, light cream, light gray, those colors, yarn producers will blend in a little bit of Zwartbles to get that sort of heathery black. So it talks about, you know, all the other things that we were talking about, but here we go. Best known for intensely black wool. So if you see Zwartbles, that gives you a pretty good hint that there is a bit of heathering in the color. So that's just my little explanation of this book, why it's useful for knitters, how it's useful for when we have a special yarn comes out and it's in a breed that you don't recognize. You can look it up in here and it shows you what kind of wool it is, how durable it is, how soft it is, what color it is, what projects it might be best for. Is it scratchy? Is it not scratchy? But that's all subjective, and that's a whole nother conversation about scratchiness. But it is a really great resource for understanding sheep breeds, their fibers, and how it affects wool that we sell at the Woolly Thistle. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about is, I hear a lot of people call it knitting mojo. And the reason I want to bring it up is I feel like I'm in a current lull of my knitting mojo. I'm a person I knit every day. I knit a pretty good amount. I get through projects. I give them as gifts. And for the last week or two, I just haven't been feeling like it. And it's an interesting range of emotions where you feel like I want to knit, but then I don't want to knit, but then I feel like I should knit because Christmas and the holidays are right around the corner. And so you get weird guilt about not knitting, and then you remember knitting is supposed to be fun and it's a hobby, and it's an interesting thing. And I just wanted to throw that out there that I am in a weird lull in my knitting motivation, my knitting mojo. And I was just curious if anyone else has ever experienced kind of a lull in their enthusiasm for knitting. I still love knitting. I still, look at patterns and stuff, but I'm just not feeling like it. And I'm not feeling like getting something on my needles. So didn't know if anyone else had experienced that, what you did, how you dealt with it, if you got through it, if you gave up knitting for good, if you turned to weaving or crocheting or some other fiber art and that was better for a while. Yeah, so I was just curious. It's an interesting thing when it's something that you're very enthusiastic about. You're just not feeling that enthusiastic about. Anyway, if you can leave a comment below, I would love to hear it, or a comment about anything, about this, about my cardigan, about our yarns. It'd be great to talk to you. Nice to see you. Bye.
So I just want to leave you with one little snippet before I go. I'm going to announce a new winner as well, but I was wearing my sweater the last episode. This is my Lovage by Marie Wallin that is heavily adapted. But I did come across the original. I told you I knitted this twice, and that's because these were my original colors, which are beautiful and much brighter and not what I was going for. But look at the size. There's the sleeves and there's the body. It was enormous, and I had to reknit it to make it fit. I keep joking that one day I'm going to turn it into a little tiny skirt for my daughter, who thinks she's too cool for wool. But I think she would wear this actually, so I might get on that. But I just wanted to show you, in the continuing theme of me and my mistakes, that I actually knitted all this in about 5 sizes too big, honestly. And so having done that, I got on smaller needles, I reduced the stitch count, I changed the colors, and I knitted the perfect sweater for me. And I just want to point out that you all can do this too. If you come at knitting with the attitude that all knitting is good, then it doesn't matter if you have to rip it out. I am a process knitter. I am a finished object knitter too. I do like the results, and I want to enjoy the results though, and that's key. Having results that you never wear is not really a good outcome if the intent is to wear this thing. So I will rip out and knit again, and rip out and knit again, and rip out and knit again. And I just want to encourage you guys to feel similarly, in that all knitting is good knitting. And if you make mistakes, it's not the end of the world. You can look at them and try and figure it out. If you don't know the answers, you can always get in touch with us too, or you can search online. There's many people who've gone before us who have figured this stuff out too. And this project actually taught me how to change counts in color work, and where I could fudge it and where I couldn't. And I managed to get this gigantic yoke off of this sweater and change it completely, and then fit it back to the original sweater piece that was with this originally. So if I can do it, you can do it. I am not a math whiz. I am just tenacious and a plodder, and I keep going. Some of you might be going, oh my God, no, I can't be bothered with all of that. And that's totally fine as well. I'm not casting judgment on anyone for anything, but I do want to give you encouragement. If you find yourself making mistakes or coming out with an FO that you're just not happy with, rip it out. Go back to where you need to and start over, and be creative in your corrections, as well as knowledgeable. Find the knowledge and riff from there, because at the end of the day, you will wear something that fits you, that you are happy with the color choices. And I had such a happy time knitting this. These colors are super happy, but I took advantage of the fact that it did not fit at all to change it up and mute it down to something I would feel more comfortable wearing on a daily basis. So with all that said, let's announce the last winner and we will take off. And our last winner is Terry Newbold. Congratulations, Terry. You said, I finally got the time to enjoy the whole podcast. I enjoyed every minute. Thank you for the feeling of being in my weekly knitting group again. We haven't been able to get together since February 2020. I really miss meeting with my knitting friends. I am now a subscriber and see you for the next podcast. I can't wait, and take care. Well, Terry, I am so happy that you feel this is your virtual knitting group. I hope that we all feel that to some degree. And, you know, welcome and congratulations on being a winner. You get a $25 gift certificate to spend here at the Woolly Thistle. Just send us an email at info@thewoollythistle, 2 L's in Woolly. Put winner, all in capitals, in the subject line so that we can find you quickly and easily, and we'll get that prize out to you right away. So everyone, thank you so much for watching and putting up with just me. I miss my buddy here. I hope that she is better and well enough to be on the next episode, and we will talk to you soon. So if you go out, take your knitting, wear your mask, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. We'll see you next week when we talk more about grab bags, and also the selection boxes coming for Black Friday.